It's fascinating too, because you can bring in the stories too of specifically the Black press of that mid-century era and how they were telling the stories, but that was not being read by white citizens, and so they had an even harder time trying to cover a story because oftentimes they could not sit in the courtrooms. They had to sit in the anterooms and have someone run in and tell them and bring information back. But how the Chicago Defender covered the Emmett Till, and that really is the beginning of the modern civil rights movement. And so when you look, and it happened to be that one woman reporter for the Chicago Defender standing there in the train station, waiting for his body to come home, and being there the moment the mother got his casket, and reporting that in that moment. Yeah, so to be able to tell it by the people who are writing the first draft of it and to understand, I think one of the challenges with journalism today is we think because you have access to information so quickly and you have all of these tools that you know the story. But you don't. As you're reporting, just like science, it's iterative. You learn more and you add to it, and you learn more and you add to it. And eventually you'll get a bigger and clearer picture. But in the moment, you're reporting what you can observe, what people have interviewed, they've said in interviews, and what you know in that moment. But cumulatively, you get a clearer picture. And I think that's something especially with the internet and social media, we haven't quite caught up to that. Also, I think there's been a very dangerous thing that's happened in journalism. And I remember this beginning when I was in college and studying it. There was this, keep it simple, stupid, the KISS method. And I think that's been dangerous, to say that we have to talk down to people and we can't talk about bigger concepts. I think that's really done a disservice to us socially, because when I read the newspapers, and I read so many newspapers from this era and so many books from this era, the way that they wrote, they used the classics, they used classic poetry, they talked about, conflict in the Middle East, where we weren't even traveling that easily yet. They came back from war being willing to talk about really complex issues, and they didn't try to dumb it down, and they didn't try to talk down to their readers. They tried to bring their readers up to what they found out and knew and could tell them, so that there was a way of looking at the world. They weren't perfect. They certainly weren't perfect. Some of them had their own motivations, but at the same time, it was ennobling in the way that they tried to use the daily news to underpin democracy, because a democracy is only as enlightened as its citizens are, and they understood that.